Greetings and salutations, people, and we are in trouble. I found this little gem in my library. I'd forgotten I had this. This is, of course, Prison Architect. And I haven't played this in, over a year, I think. 2015 was the last save file I have for this thing. So, anyway, lots of changes. There's been lots of changes, but it still looks exactly the same. So it's, but they are really cool things, like we can now do these dormitories. So in a smaller amount of space you can fit more inmates. So this was my initial cell block. Well, I decided actually to try something different this time. First of all, I went with the open office plan. So, if anyone brings in a beach ball, they can all have some fun. Although my warden is Rita, so that may not go down so well. That was one change that I noticed, was you can now pick your warden, and depending on which warden you have, changes how your inmates behave. Of course, I went with the stern Ms. Rita, who carries a whip. Sorry. Then I decided I wanted, I was going with a big prison. And, I always want to try and get the canteen, or the kitchen at least, as far into the prison as I can. So it's like 1/3 the way. I mean, I did a great job there. As I expand, we'll move it further down. The same with the visitation. Since almost all prisoners are going to be using the same visitation room. Well, in my prison they will be. I wanted that as close to the center of the prison as I could. It doesn't need to be very big because screw 'em. And as I expanded, I realized that because I've got these big rooms with all these extra pieces, like the shower, the bookshelf, and the radio, the room quality was too high. So I built another one. And of course I only put the 2 bunk beds in there. The problem is your room quality is evaluated on the amount of room space and the number of prisoners in there. So these actually end up being roughly the same quality as well. Well, let's check. Yeah. See, this one's 6, and this one's 5, and I think there are no occupants in it. So this one's actually got more pieces. This one's got a radio. Wait, does a radio count? No, radio doesn't count. I didn't realize that. You could, okay. Items that count will be a TV, a phone booth, a chair, a pool table, and a window. So the radios are useless. I can actually remove the radios and put in a chair. Haha! Anyway. So yeah, I also built these ones. These have a window. This side doesn't, obviously. And then of course I ended up with this really weird issue where I had more prisoners coming in, and I'm working away over here. I'm working on this, but I'm trying to figure out how to set up solitary, because my danger level was getting extremely high because people were being locked in their cell. So I was like, I'll go over here and I'll start working on solitary. And I'm like, well, while I'm doing solitary, I could probably set up the kennel and security. And this bit has just kind of sort of like grown on its own, really. Now I've got this square here that I can't do anything with. I'll probably just expand the infirmary, or make an offshoot classroom or something. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm working down here, and I glance up here as a guard walks by, and I happen to see the holding cell full of people. Curious, I wondered, so I went over and investigated, and it wasn't housing them here or here because the room quality was too high. So I had to very quickly knock this out. So of course all these rooms are nice and low. They're all ones. You get a toilet. That's it. That's all you get. You get a toilet. And I don't think you even actually have to have a toilet for a cell, do you? Where are we? Room, cell. Oh no, yeah, every cell has to have a toilet. Okay. But yeah. But of course, if you do this and you put the shower head in the room, you can't fulfill one of the requirements for your first grant, which is a shower area. So I ended up with this and then just this little section here. It looked kind of weird, but I was fully intending on expanding it out. Of course, this shower area is still pretty stupid since I've got shower heads in every cubicle. What else? Oh, power. I like to separate power, the north power and the south power, and I guess eventually I'm going to have a northeast, southeast and whatnot, because, you know, as you expand across, your power requirements get higher, and there's only so much you can do with capacitors. So where are we? So at the moment we have, you know, this guy's doing this side of the corridor, this guy's doing this side of the corridor, and everybody's happy. I've got the permanently closed door, and I've got the little staff airlock here, as it is, so they can go through without having to worry about this door, which means the patrol, the guards have less work to deal with. Plenty of metal detectors. These guys like to smuggle... Oh, hello. These guys like to try and smuggle stuff out of my refectory and into my prison, so plenty of metal detectors. They're working, but they don't actually seem to be doing anything. It's a little annoying. Like, this guy's the only one actually working, everyone else is just kind of wandering around with their thumb up their nose. But so far things are not going too bad. I've got 27 prisoners and 4, 8... Yeah, plenty of room for them to sit down and eat. The common room was kind of an afterthought, but I had to use planning because I needed to make sure I could expand the canteen leftways. Because somehow I think I'm going to fill these in a little more before I start expanding it this way. Although maximum security does seem to be an issue. Somebody got upgraded. I had 2 escapes because I wasn't watching. I had this door locked open. And there was a bit of a scuffle in the canteen, and the guards were left back here, and these inmates can be bloody quick when they want to. They hauled Fanny out there and out this door, and they were gone. Son of a bitch. So, yeah, there's... See, look, they're just kind of wandering around smearing detergent all over the floor in the cleaning cupboard. That's not working. I don't think you guys should be getting paid for this. Still, we're on day 6. We're not doing too bad. Let's have a look at bureaucracy. I've got almost everything unlocked that I currently want to. I want to do the taser rollout because these inmates are getting annoying. Yeah, I guess we'll do tax relief next. Yeah, we'll do that now, screw it. We'll do tax relief. It'll save us some money. I got a couple of grants on the go. What are my grants anyway? What have I got left to do? Cell block C. Raise your prison capacity to 100. Well, that's easy. I'm already on 70. Nutrition research. Oh, that one's a pain in the neck because you've got to redo your. You end up having to redo your regime, which mine is a complete mess at the moment. But once the classroom is finished and running, this is going to be advantageous. Yeah, for some reason I've got a maximum security guy. This is a pain in the neck. Got me dog patrol. Doesn't really do a great deal, he just kind of wanders backwards and forwards through here, so any inmate that passes him gets auto-searched. I got my guards set up so they patrol these areas during free time, and I got an armed guard. Well, you can see during mealtime we have an armed guard and 2 regular guards in the canteen, and I got my patrol set up for the work period. But I gotta say, I mean, this is an interesting game. It keeps you on your toes. It's really simple, but it's also really... I guess it's as complicated as you want to make it, I guess, is the best way to describe it. So far I've had nobody tunneling out, and that's not a prison rape joke. They do actually dig holes from their cell outside. But to combat that, I have a very sneaky thing that I do. I like to take the fence and run it all the way around the outside of my property. So when they do tunnel out, they tunnel out usually about this far or this far, and they will run to the fence and run down to the only opening in the fence, which is here and here. So if there is an escape attempt, I can have guards stationed outside those two areas waiting for them. So anyway, that is about it. I'm playing with lots of various different games at the moment. I might try that new one. What is that one? RimWorld? I got that sitting in my library somewhere. I might give that a go later. I don't know. It looks like overly complex to me, but I got plenty of time at the moment. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm gonna see how many people I can get to pass this foundation education course. But until then, I will see you anon.